So what would happen in a 12-team PPR league if I just drafted running backs and wide receivers with the first 7 picks? This is the Fantasy Sports Boss. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So just got done with my mock draft. Like I said, the plan going in, because I wanted to test this out in lieu of the podcast that I posted the other day about about the wisdom of loading up on all wide receivers and running backs early, because, you know, since you play 2 to 3 wideouts in a given league and 2 running backs and a flex, whereas you only play 1 tight end and 1 quarterback, I wanted to see if I stocked up on these running backs and wide receivers early at the expense of the quarterbacks and tight ends, what kind of a team I would end up. So needless to say, I gotta admit, now I had the 3rd spot in the draft, and the team that I wound up getting is a blockbuster team. So I'm going to show it to you guys here if I can. I can't flip this around. I'm sorry. All right, well, I'll just give you the guys the lowdown. So with the 3rd pick, I took Ja'Marr Chase, and I figured that was going to be the pick. I figured that Justin Jefferson and Christian McCaffrey would go first, so I took Ja'Marr Chase. Round 2, just like I figured Jalen Waddle was going to be there, and I took Jalen Waddle as well. So I started out with Chase, Jalen Waddle, 2 game-breaking guys who can really, you know, pile up the yardage and pile up the touchdowns. Round 3, I was hoping to get Chris Olave, like I planned to do. That's how I want to start it in the 10-team league that I'm in, where I have the number 2 pick. You know, I'm hoping that's how it's going to end up. But anyway, so I was hoping Olave would drop to me in the 3rd round. It didn't. But I got Travis Etienne, so I got my running back 1, a guy that I really like. I know I've been a little back and forth on him, but I'm back being in his corner as a prime running back 1. Round 4, I went with Tyler Lockett. Now, I know there's increased competition with the rookie coming in from Ohio State, but I think Lockett, the only wide receiver in football the last 4 years to catch at least 8 touchdowns or more, the only wideout in football to do that the last 4 years. So I picked Tyler Lockett there. So my receivers, my starting wideouts are Ja'Marr Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Tyler Lockett. Each one of those guys can score 8 to 10 touchdowns at least. And then I have Travis Etienne as my running back 1. My running back 2 in round 5, I took James Conner. All right, so James Conner was my pick there. Miles Sanders had just been taken right before that, because that's who I was targeting, as I've been doing all summer, targeting Miles Sanders in round 5. He's starting to move up, though, into like the late 4th round. So I took James Conner, who, you know, is solid but unspectacular. He's going to get a lot of work. He's really the entire offense besides Marquise Brown. So that's my 2nd running back. Now, round 6, I took Christian Kirk for my flex. Wasn't in love with it. I wanted Calvin Ridley, but he actually wound up going early. Late in the 3rd round. That's as early as I've seen him going now, Calvin Ridley, so his price keeps going up. So I took Christian Kirk, the fallback, so Kirk will be in my flex. So my 4 wideouts again, Ja'Marr Chase, Jalen Waddle, Tyler Lockett, and Christian Kirk. Now, I need another running back because I want to finish this top 7. So who did I take in the 7th round? Alvin Kamara was there. Couldn't believe it. I know he's facing some sort of a suspension, and Jamal Williams was brought in, but I picked up Kamara there. So now, I got my 4 receivers and 3 running backs. So I have a bench guy for the flex, all right? So now it's all about quarterback and tight end. I was hoping that somehow Darren Waller would drop to 8th round. That didn't happen. Actually, excuse me, let me back up. If Waller was there in the 7th round, I was going to not take Kamara and take Waller and just try to grab another running back in the 8th round. That didn't happen, so I took Kamara. So in the 8th round, I was in the 8th, 9th round, I was going to go my quarterback and tight end. Pat Freiermuth was the guy I had lined up at tight end. Well, he got taken. So at quarterback, I took Deshaun Watson in the 8th round, and 9th round, I took David Njoku. You know, I wasn't in love with the Njoku pick. I did think about waiting even longer and just take Dalton Schultz, but I took Njoku, who I think has game-breaking speed, and I'm going to stack him with Deshaun Watson. So that was the thinking there. And he really was the best tight end left on the board. All right, so now that I have my quarterback and tight end, it's all about filling out further the running back and wide receivers. Round 10, I took Jamal Williams. And I took Jamal Williams because if Alvin Kamara gets suspended, I have Jamal Williams there. Also, injury insurance in case Kamara gets hurt, and Williams will score touchdowns around the goal line. So I thought that was a good stack to have there. I also wanted to get a backup quarterback. And in round 11, Geno Smith, who I love, is still there. I took him. I told you all summer, I like the Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith stack. I know they have the same bye, which is annoying, but that's only 1 week. We could figure it out, you know, on the fly there, get a 3rd quarterback in if we have to. That's not ideal, but Geno Smith was there. So I took him in the 11th round. And then the rest of the way, I needed to take one more wide receiver, one more running back. Zay Flowers, I took at wideout in round 12. I took Raheem Mostert in the 13th round at running back. I mean, I didn't love that pick at all, but he was the best running back available. And then I finished out with Baltimore's defense in round 14 and Jason Myers, a kicker, in round 15. So, again, let's reiterate. This team has Deshaun Watson as the quarterback, Geno Smith as the backup. My 3 starting receivers are Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Tyler Lockett, and I have Christian Kirk as my flex. My 2 starting running backs, Travis Etienne, James Conner, and on the bench, Alvin Kamara, who I could put into flex, and I also have Jamal Williams to back him up. My tight end, David Njoku, stacking him with Deshaun Watson. My bench, Geno Smith, like I said, Zay Flowers, Raheem Mostert. I think that's a pretty freaking good team. So now what I'm going to try to do in my next mock draft is I'm going to try to do the first 6 picks as running back wideout. That way I fill in the 3 wideout spots, the 2 running backs in the flex. And then I'm going to try to grab the tight end in round 7, see if I can get Freiermuth there and see if I can have a look. Because I like Freiermuth better than Njoku, and then see what I can go from there. All right, guys, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how what did you think about this team? How do you think the strategy would unfold? Let me know in the comments.